Let's get ready for Monday Mortgage Minute with your hosts, Tom McNamara and Bruce Woodburn.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bruce. I'm doing this here remote this morning. I had to go into my office, which I think I do maybe twice a month now.
Well, last week I did ours remote from Nashville. So I want to get right down to something that I think is really important for people that are sitting on the fence and even other real estate agents that just don't have their mind in the game right now. Because honestly, I think that interest rates are probably going to trickle up a little bit worse than they are right now before they get better. And if you don't have your head in the game, you're going to miss out on opportunities. And Tom, there's always opportunities. There's always an opportunity, no matter what the market is. So I want to talk about managing fear today. And I think anybody that's listening to this is going to really, they're going to get it, right? So I just want to go back in time. And if you're younger, you may not remember this so much, but I want to go back to how good business was back between 2003 and 2006.
Yeah.
And then in 2007 and 8, we had a total meltdown of the mortgage industry. So mortgage companies were doing loans for people that should never have gotten loans, right? They were liar loans, no income, no asset, 120% financing on an investor condo without even proving your income, right?
Yep. Reverse amortization or negative
Yep, negative
amortization.
amortization, all that stuff. So,
Yep.
so that was a problem. And then, and our, our government and our banks sold those mortgage-backed securities as good loans to foreign countries like France and Greece and Europe, all over Europe, and they defaulted. And then they wouldn't buy our mortgage-backed securities because we had done crappy loans and
Yeah.
packaged them up in a Tiffany box with a pretty white ribbon, and they were just garbage inside, right?
Yep.
So that's what happened. That's what caused that recession. That is not the same right now. You know
Well,
that.
and I do, Bruce, and I hear this, and I hear this a lot from buyers or potential buyers with I'm going to wait for it to crash. I'm going to wait for it to crash, as if that is a normal course of
So
operation
they're
in the
looking at
real
that as a
estate market.
positive, not a negative.
They are.
So it
Yeah.
opens up opportunities. So first
Yeah.
of all, lending today is what I consider to be prudent. Okay. You got to qualify. You got to show the income. You got to show the asset. You got to have a little skin in the game. And that's prudent underwriting. That makes sense. We don't want people to default. That didn't help anybody during that era. But I want to change the direction of this because I told you I wanted to help people manage fear. Because right now, I feel like people are in fear that they shouldn't buy, that they should just wait for interest rates to drop a little bit. And I
Hmm.
want to show you how much of a mistake that would be. So let's go back in time to between 2009, just after the recession ended in 2000, or the collapse ended in 2008. We were still in a recession from 8 all the way to 12. Okay. So it was
That's right.
about
Yep.
4 years and even a little bit into 12. And housing prices dropped at that point. They dropped by
Dramatically.
11%
Dramatically.
and then 5, and then jumped up to 6. I think it was 2013 or 14. Jumped right up from -5 to +6. But I want to position ourselves because I liken that era to a similar era that we're in today. People were in fear. Who hardly anybody bought real estate during that 5-year span because they
No,
saw their friends getting foreclosed and short
yep.
saled, and it was horrible. And
Bruce, it was so bad that the government, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but the government decided to have Wall Street essentially. They created those hedge funds or enabled those hedge funds that had billions and trillions of dollars sitting on the sidelines to come into the market and start mopping up all the inventory
yep,
because nobody was buying it.
yep,
And
yep.
that's where all these hedge funds come that now own all these rental properties.
Yes,
You know?
it's true. So that's exactly what they did. So listen, Hedge funds are not stupid either. They're
Nope.
smart and they're
Nope.
savvy. And I'm going to tell you something. We can learn from people that are smarter than us, and they don't have fear. So that's who was buying property during
Yep.
the recession. And it's not that much different right now. 1 in 6 purchases are an investor right now. 1
Yep.
in 6 are an investor right now. Why? Because they buy when the opportunity is there. But the general people out there are going, oh my God, the rates are 7.5, almost 8%. I can't afford that. Or it's too much for me. My payment's going to be too high. So I'm going to tell you something. If you would have bought during that era between 2009 and 2013, you would have quadrupled your money by today. Quadrupled. And
For
in
sure.
some cases, even more than that. I want you to look at today as being a similar thing. It's not quite as bad because we're not seeing a reduction in values. Our
No.
values are not down. They already flattened out. The dead cat bounce was there, and we are now on a solid bounce back, anywhere between 2.5% and 4% appreciation. But you ever hear anybody say, "I'm waiting for the crash. I think that real estate's going to
I,
dump"?
I hear it all the time. I hear people say it all the time. I don't think it's true, but
Well, I'm going to tell you why it's not true. Do you think our population is increasing?
it is absolutely.
Like tremendously right
Yeah.
now
Hmm.
from migration, right? Mostly. So do you understand inflation?
Yeah. Everything costs more.
Everything costs more. Do you understand supply and demand?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
So if
Yeah.
there's not enough supply and there's more demand, things go up right now,
That's right.
right?
Yep. And we're
So
5 million units short right now.
how many?
5 million across the
Yes,
country.
that's right. 5 million short. You don't have enough houses to sell right now.
Yeah.
But normally we would be in a massive appreciation point in our time frame right now, but we're not because of interest rates. But the
Correct.
interest rates are the best thing that happened to people right now that want to buy, because other people are afraid and sellers are willing to make deals. You're not going to see a crash in the market because you can't say inflation out of one side of your mouth and housing prices are going to drop in the other side of your mouth. Doesn't make any sense. You can't say no inventory and houses prices are going to drop. It does not happen. Those things don't happen. So what will happen? If you buy now, you can negotiate. You can get closing costs. You can get new roofs in some cases. I'm seeing happen.
Yep.
Electrical repairs on the house. Did you see any of that during COVID? Almost nothing.
No. 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 It was
Right?
take it or leave it,
It was take it or leave it and pay me extra. If you're
and,
not
and
bumping,
pay me
you're not
extra.
going to pay me 10 grand over ask price, 40 grand. I had one customer paid 150,000 over ask price. Right.
I,
So those
I had
things
one. I had
happen.
one try to bid 100K over ask price and got outbid
Yep. I'm
at
telling you.
100K over.
So people quickly forgot about that. But the only reason you're not seeing that today is because of interest rates. So you
Yeah.
need to use the interest rates as a positive thing for you because it's allowing you an opportunity to negotiate with a seller right now because they don't have enough people. Because 8 or 9 people out of 10 people that want to buy don't buy because of fear. But if you look back in time, you would kick yourself in the butt for not buying as many properties as you could possibly get your hands on during that period of time.
I I know. I know. I do.
I
I
do
didn't
too.
start.
It was
I
one of
didn't
the
start
biggest
buying them
mistakes
until
I ever made.
2014. Yeah. I started buying in 2014. I wish I would have started earlier.
Sure. We all did. We all
Yeah.
did. We were too late to the game, but the investors weren't, were they? The hedge funds weren't, were they?
Nope.
They
They were
didn't,
way ahead.
they knew it's going to spring back. Don't be silly. You don't think housing prices are going to spring back and start skyrocketing? Do you not think interest rates are going to drop sometime? But my point is, if you're listening to this, whatever you do, don't wait for interest rates to drop. Refi when interest rates drop. Buy right now so you can negotiate with the seller. Tom can help you with that. I can help you with that. We can talk about 2-1 buy downs to get that payment affordable for you. You and I can talk a little bit about that next week. But my point
Absolutely.
is, don't let fear cost you money. And that's what's costing 8 out of 10 Americans that want to buy in today's market right now. They will lose out because when rates drop, and they're going to drop mid-year, probably in the mid sixes. And then right after the election, we're kind of thinking somewhere in the mid fives. If we're lucky, maybe by the end of the first quarter, possibly the low fours. But if there's no inventory, builders can't build enough inventory right now. They can't
Not
even
fast
come
enough.
close.
No.
They can't come close. They can't get material. There still is labor shortages. So
Yep.
they can't, they're solving a little bit of the problem, but it's only about 2% of the problem. It's
Right.
not a big part of the problem. And if you buy real estate right now, I guarantee you will make money when you go to sell, as long as you don't sell next year.
Right. Right.
We want at least a 3 to 5 year, keep it 3 to 5 years, and you're going to make a ton of money, because when rates drop even to 6%, because you're going to love a 6 now that you're seeing close to 8s. You're going to love
It's
the
funny
6.
how that works, right?
Just like you like a $3.90 gallon of gas because you didn't like the $5 gallon of gas, right? Okay. You forgot the $2 gallon of gas back then,
Yeah.
in
No,
our
I didn't.
last election, right?
No,
That's
I
what
didn't.
gas was then, right? So,
Yep.
we forget about that. And now we like the 350 gallon of gas. So it's going to be the same thing when rates drop, and they'll probably be hitting the 8s before the end of the year. That's my prediction.
That's
They're
what I hear.
bumping up against it already. And then they drop, you're going to see a surge in the market. So buy now, refi later. That's my message. Don't make the mistake. People that are in fear don't make money. Even if you're a move up buyer, do it right now. If you can, keep the house. I've got loans that we can talk about next week that are buy now, sell later loans. And they're
Oh,
not
perfect.
bridge loans. They're loans that I can get you qualified. I don't even count the payment on your current residence. You buy a new home, you sign a letter that you're going to sell your home, you put it on the market. I don't care if you take it off the market after I close on your new home and go rent it. Keep it for another 4 years till values come up. I've got
Yeah.
products to help people like that. We're going to talk about that next week, but I wanted to address fear, because fear costs Americans more money, and the people that don't have the fear make the money. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. When there's blood in the streets, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah,
Hey,
just like
Bruce,
our friend Warren Buffett. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Be greedy
yep.
right now because everyone else
100%.
is fearful. Take advantage of it. I got to run, Tom. Hope you have an amazing week.
Yeah, man. You too.